Hi, Professor. Today we are going to demonstrate our project 3. We do it using JavaScript. So our project titled 15 Puzzle. So this is a puzzle game, and this was done by me, Gopesh, and Sandeep. So I'll go in detail and explain how the game functionality gonna happen and what is the stages and workflow of this game. So let's deep dive into our project. So it is a classic sliding puzzle game that consisting of 4 by 4 grids. So the grids is something which we have given the user an option to select whether he can select 2 by 2 grid. If you want, he can select 4 by 5 grid. So based on his interest, we will be displaying some tiles from numerical order from 1 to 15 with the empty space. So here we will be calculating the number of moves and also limiting the moves in order to say whether he had completed in a particular time within the particular number of moves. And also there will be a timer that has been displayed. And the interesting part of this project is that we have also integrated this with the music system. So the music gonna play and there will be different tones of musics for one move and another move, and when the timer is getting declined, and it will get another type of music. So the challenge also lies here, and there is limited movement. Only adjacent tiles to the empty space can be moved at a given time. And also you can move tiles into empty space by sliding them horizontally or vertically. So you will get the more understanding of this once we look at the real time working demo of this application and going through it now. Let me explain you the workflow which we call as in the UML diagram. So first, there will be an user, and we'll be having an home page. As I mentioned earlier, that we are providing a user an opportunity to select the grid they want. So that's what we call a select board size, where you can select it either a 4 by 4 or a 5 by 5. And also the best thing about our project is we have been given a user an option to select the image which he want to select. So he can do the game of image of its own choice, and after he has been selecting an image, there will be a button of start game. So once he click on start game, then the real game gonna display, and we then configured some musics and also some advanced css features to display how the animations and all. And once the user is ready, then he can start playing the game. And as I explained, the key features like there are background tile image selections, there are selection of board size which we have now discussed in depth. And the best thing about our project is this enabled music throughout the game, and we have used a different number of animations, and we enabled the numbers on the image style. So if the users are confused, they can even select on this tile so that it's gonna display the number of each block so that they can rearrange them and see whether they could find a correct image after rearranging. And also at any moment of time, user can pass the game and the timer gonna stop, and once they can repass it, then the timer gonna start. So this is also one of the key feature which have been implemented using JS. And also the winner announcement within the time. So as I have mentioned in the first slide, like we will be restricting the number of moves. So within the number of moves, if his user is able to crack that puzzle, then we will be announcing him as a winner. And this is what the application homepage gonna look like. And as I mentioned, see here, you can see that the rows and columns, these are by default 4 by 4 when we have taken the screenshot, but it is what we provide an user an option, like you can select it either a 3 by 3 or a 5 by 5 or a 4 by 5 of his choice. And these are the pictures which have chosen for the puzzles. So user can select either of these pictures. Either he can select the first one, second one, and he can start playing the game. And this is a start button, so once they click on it, an event gonna happen, and then the music gonna start happening. And this is how the gameplay is gonna look like. What I have told here, if you see, he has selected this the first image which is displayed here. So once he has been selected this, you can see we have displayed him all the images. And now here the best thing is you can see this the numbers. Once they click on the numbers, we'll be displaying the blocks with the number. And also as I mentioned earlier, you can pass it at any moment of time. So once pass, the timer gonna stop, and once you start swapping these cards, then it gonna calculate those moves. And now my friend Gopesh Krishna will explain about how this event's gonna happen backend in Java, and what are the tiles we have used and what are the tags we have used. So I'll be handling him to. Yeah. Mm,
So hi, I'm Gopesh. So now I'm discussing more detail, in depth how we have implemented all these functionalities. So currently now you can see this is the background tile image selection. So as we mentioned, like some of the key features. So this is one of the key feature where user will be able to select a picture. So you can see the corresponding HTML code where we have integrated all the images in the code, and you can also see the JavaScript function where it is getting displayed. It is displaying the logic to take the image and split into how many portions the user has selected based on the number of rows, based on the input he has given for the number of rows and the number of columns. So in that way the entire picture will be pixelated into those many parts, such that it will create a game, so that user has a user will be able to slide the tiles, and he can play the game in. And coming to the next one, so it is nothing but selection of board size. This is also key size where so it's a 15 puzzle game as we mentioned, but we have added extra functionality because, like, user may able to select the board size based on his ability. I mean, like, if user selects the board size as number of rows and number of columns high, he'll get a n by n tile matrix, such that it will be somewhat difficult for the beginners. But the users who are starting the game initially, they are playing the game, they can select the rows and columns to minimum, which we have given as 2 by 2, such that they'll be able to easily handle the game, and they'll be able to win that game, such that they can increase the difficulty levels by increasing the number of rows and number of columns. And this is the HTML code that we have used, where it's mentioned rows and columns. And that's all. And coming to the next one, as my friend mentioned, we that's the coolest part throughout the game is we enable the music when the user clicks on the start button. So we have imported some audio files which we integrated in the application, and it's been getting called when the user clicks on the start button. And you can see the HTML code for this, and where the source, we have stored the images and audio files in the assets folder. And we have made the audio into a loop format, such that it will be continuously playing, even till the user wins. And this is the JavaScript function where we used play audio. So how so it will be like it will find the corresponding audio tag from the HTML5 by getting document.getElement by ID, which are element selectors. So based on that, it will be able to identify the audio tag, and we'll be able to click on the play button, so that the music will be played on the click of the start button by the user. And next one is like, we have also included animations, different kinds of animations in the tile movement. So when the user pushes the tiles, like, we enabled more than two, I mean, like, he can move multiple tiles at a single move. So we have enabled some transition effects, such that it will be somewhat smooth and a little bit animative. And we also enabled zoom animation, so that he'll get the movement he's moving. And we enable zoom in, zoom out, those kind of things when the user moves the tiles, slides the tiles throughout the board. And the next one is the next coolest part is, if user seems to be somewhat visually deceptive, and he is unable to understand, he is unable to identify how to arrange the images, like what is the kind of original image, whether he has selected, and how to arrange what portion of the image should come first, or Second, the order, if he is getting missed that order, he can click on the numbers button, numbers, such that the tile number will be embedded on the image, so that it will be very easy to identify, and the users can be able to identify the corresponding images, and they'll arrange the images properly based on the order or based on the number which the tile contains. And the next one is, and you can see we also integrated timer and moves, which is an advanced, I mean, like, which is a kind of functionality where user will be able to know how much time it took to solve that game, and how many moves it took him to solve that game, and how many moves are involved, so that he'll be able to improve in the further game, further playing, like maybe second time or third time. And it will also help us to identify who is the competitor, like who got the first in the game, second, and we can also arrange the players in the winning dashboard, like those kind of advanced functionalities we can implement using this timer and moves. And here you can see the code corresponding this, which will display time and moves, and this is the HTML code, where initially we are displaying 0 by 0, and this is the JavaScript code, where once the timer, we are taking the JavaScript timer, default timer, and so we are updating every time the minutes and the seconds, and once this and we are also assigning it to some global variables, like as time moves, using query selector. And the next cool part is, if user wants to pause the game, like due to some things, so he can pause the game such that the timer will be stopped and the moves will be stopped. And this is also one of the important functionality which generally games contains, so that one also we have implemented. So once the user and we also implemented one coolest part is, once the user pause the game, we are hiding the tiles, because, like, if user pause the game, and he should not be able to think what tile should be moved, right? So that he may do some manipulation in the time constraint what we are measuring in winning, in determining the winners. So we have made that, like, we have made it such a way, like all tiles, all the game dashboard will be disabled, and when the user clicks the pause button, then and when the user try to resumes it, it will be able to show the game, which was previously he resumed, and the similar state he'll be getting displayed on that. And the next one is, the final one is the winner announcement. So once the user tries to finish the game, and he plays to the game, and he'll be able to complete it based on the order which it need to be. So then we are displaying the winner, I mean, like, we are displaying some overlay, such that user, you have successfully completed within this time constraint and with this number of moves, so that he'll be able to identify how much time it took and how many moves it happened him to complete the whole game. So, and the next part is, like, you can see this is the HTML portion of the code, where we have added time, moves, and successfully completed message. And this is the JavaScript portion of the code, so where we are trying to store the time and moves, and once the win happens, like, we are hiding the winner, we are just enabling the winner overlay or winner alert. And once he is done, so, and I mean, like, here we can also extend some functionality, maybe in future, such that we will be able to store the details, like time took for the player, and the number of moves it took for the player one, such that we can collect all the details, and we can store somewhere in the DB, such that we'll be able to show the winner dashboard, like throughout the, I mean, like throughout the game, how many players has completed, how much time it took, and how many moves it took, so that we can create something winner dashboard kind of thing, which is completely advanced one, but we can do it with this kind of data which we possess. And the next part is, so now so this is somewhat a application demo video which we have recorded. So it's just so now my friend Sandeep will explain this game in detail, so that you can able to understand and how to play and what all functionalities implemented in the real time. You can see it. You can see it. Uh, yeah.
Hi, I'm Sandeep. So let's get deep dive into the game and let's play some stuff. This is how the game page looks like. It indicates the 15 puzzle game, the title of the game, the 15 puzzle, and as mentioned by our teammates, we have divided or implemented this game in the form of rows and columns. As user or the player who wants to play the game, they can change the rows as they require, and they can change the rows and columns based on the these rows and columns indicates the difficulty level of the game. If we increase the number of rows to maximum number, the difficulty of the game will be increased, and if we decrease the rows and columns to the minimum number, it becomes easy for the player to easily conclude the game or easily win the game. So let's get started on how this game is implemented. So first, initially the user or the player should select should select what number of rows or columns he want to play with the game, and the next task is to choose the picture from the given below. So let's choose one of the picture. Let me choose the second picture, and then click on start. As you can see, the background music is also playing, and uh, the top left of the screen, the timer is also started, and we just have clicked a move. So the moves indicates the total number of moves the player is uh, using while playing the game, and you can see the pause button over here. If you click on pause button, the game stops. The game is paused, and as mentioned, the the exact moment of the game is completely blank, and the moment of the game is paused, so user cannot use any other movement, so that he can once we click back on resume again, the pictures or the rows are back onto the screen, and this is a simple game, right? So user can it's a 2 by 2 matrix, so user can really conclude this game. But uh, now, now the game is completed, right? So you can see the uh, now the game is completed. You can see the pop-up call successfully completed, and how much time the user has taken to complete the game, and in what number of moves the user completed the game. And then uh, let, let's see the other scenario of the game. So if we choose more number of rows, it gets difficult for the player to conclude the game in less number of moves. So let's choose the other picture and let's get started. So as you can see, the number of tiles, I mean the matrix size is increased, so it's very difficult for the player to complete the game in very short time and in very less moves. So we have implemented a feature called numbers over to the right of the screen. If we click on the numbers, then on the matrix side, all the numbers or serial numbers, sequential numbers are embedded onto the matrix, each row and column. So this acts as a hint to the player so that he can move or he can complete the game in very less number of minutes. So a player can click on each and every tile, so that here we can also see the multiple tiles can also move in a single time, and the moves count is also gradually increasing every time. So this is a big matrix or a huge matrix, it takes a lot more time to complete the game. So user can still pause the game, and as I mentioned before, after clicking pause, the screen becomes blank so that he cannot see the numbers as well as he cannot see the previous matrices. But still the background music plays continuously, and user can click on resume it anytime in the game, so that again all the numbers handles will be back to the screen. If we click again on the numbers, then the numbers will be cleared from the screen and user can start playing his game.
So hereby we conclude that so in this way we have implemented the 15 puzzle game, and we have shared all the responsibilities and which involved like from the requirements gathering to the deployment. So requirements gathering, and we have found a lot of challenges like involving, and we identified like key features what to implement, and what is the complexity of the features, and what all needs to be integrated, and what all needs to be modulated, so what all needs to be scaled. All those things we have identified in the initial development, and also we have implemented the code in such a way that it should be the user interface is somewhat good, and it also expects the great things like user will be able to pause, he'll be able to start, he'll be able to if he feels difficulty, he can click on numbers, he can be able to select the board, and he can able to select the picture which he want, and he can slide, and the animation effects, everything we have implemented with respect to the guidelines, and we also added some more features on the top of that. So in this way we have done this project, and finally thank you